The agenda, we have a request for an executive session. Chase, you want to read, please?
Yep. Executive session per MGL, Chapter 38, Section 21, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body, and the chair so declares.
So declared. And we will adjourn to open session when we're done. Hi, Mary. Should have given you another half minute. Okay. Okay, Jeff, you want to lead off?
Did you need to take a vote?
Oh, thank you. It's not even the middle of the meeting. Okay. Was there a second to that motion, first of all?
I'll second it.
Okay. Chase, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mary, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Okay, so we're in executive session.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next we'll have public service announcements, moment of silence, department reports, town administrator, action items, consideration and possible action on a Green Communities grant, consideration and possible action on a Mass Trails grant, consideration and possible action on the resignation.
Welcome to
Ashley Griffin as a dispatcher with the Sturbridge Police Department, consideration and possible action on an offer of right of first refusal for a 355 lead mine, consideration and possible action on a revised job description for the position of lieutenant in the fire department, old business, under that, COVID update, new business, correspondence, approval of minutes, July 19th, citizens forum, then we will have a request for executive session, and then we will adjourn. Okay. Public service announcements. Jamie, do you have any?
No.
Ian?
I have none.
Mary?
No.
Chase?
I have none.
We have this notice from the Finance Department. They will be closed for training on August 10th, 11th, and 12th. Payments can be made online at the town's website, www.sturbridge.gov, or can be put in the payment drop box in the back of Town Hall. And also, Jeff, in your report, you have a
Yeah, the National
public
Night Out?
service
Yeah,
mass
National
night out.
Yep.
So Jeff will do that when we get to
Okay,
his report.
Fine.
Okay, could we please now have a moment of silence for all those affected by COVID? Okay, thank you. One other thing, I don't know if people have all been notified, but the DPW put out a notice that Hall Road will be closed tomorrow from 7 to 4 from Whittemore to Route 20. Buses and delivery and everything will be allowed through, but they have work to do.
They're replacing a main that has
Yeah,
crumbled, basically.
well, it's old. A lot of old things crumble. Okay, town administrators report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you mentioned, National Night Out is tomorrow evening. I don't know if Chief Desert or Chief Grasso want to mention anything about it, but it is nationwide, and it always happens on the same day of the year, 3 to 7 on the town common. 3 to 7 or 3 to 6? 3 to 7. 3 to 7? Wonderful. The senior center project, we've had 2 public information meetings. Just wondering if the board wants to start considering having their public hearing on the feasibility study.
Well, we should, because if it's going to move along, if any funds are going to be asked for, could be the special town meeting, although,
Yeah, I would like to have a special depending upon
what else?
COVID, right? That's really the make or break, and So I don't know if you want to hold it. I don't know if we're ready for the 16th, but maybe your first meeting in September?
Yeah, I don't think we'll be ready the 16th to
So the first meeting in
decide.
September?
We need more information on what the new guidelines will be.
Okay, so we'll target the first meeting in September. Opioid lawsuit, we are a party to the nationwide opioid lawsuit. There are some settlements across the country, you may have read about them in the paper, between various manufacturers and distributors. We are a party, any settlement will get some kind of fractional amount. From my understanding of when we joined those lawsuits, we were to quantify some costs, and our costs were very minimal in terms of the overall impact, but I don't know how that plays out in any settlement. But over the next few months, we'll hear more about that. The OSV 75th anniversary banners are in, so we'll be working with the installer. We're not installing them, but a private contractor on behalf of OSV is. So we'll start working on those. And the warehouse projects in Charlton, I've been conversing back and forth with Attorney Krieger. He can put something together or maybe even appear here on the 16th to discuss options. As you see on the podium this evening, you have this excerpt from the MEPA draft environmental impact statement for the 241 Sturbridge Road project that talks about the traffic and how in the final environmental impact statement, now this isn't the Amazon facility, this is the other one, how they have to kind of expand their traffic considerations and discuss these issues with the town of Sturbridge. So we got some attention on the deal. Whether or not it leads to any productive outcomes, we'll see. But you also saw, the letter from Representative Smola on the issue. That was more towards Amazon, but I think these are really a combined issue that need to be taken in their entirety. So that's that.
Okay, thank you for printing that out. I was going to, but it's 175.
Well, our issue really is the traffic, so we
Right.
took the excerpts from the traffic, and Jean identified those sections that were relevant for me, so thank you, Jean Boubon, for that. One more item, the senior cookout between the police department and the seniors is August 12th at the senior center. You're all invited. It's an annual event. I'm sure the fire department participates in that.
Fire department will be doing the cooking.
Fire department will be doing the cooking. So the fire will do the fire, and everybody's happy. All right. And that's, be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, is there a time on that?
Noon.
Noon?
Noon. So, that's all I have.
Okay, any questions for Jeff? Mary?
I just have a couple. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but do you think we could put a link to this on our website? Because we do get a lot of questions from residents about both projects, really, the Amazon one and this one. And maybe it'd be nice if we can just direct them, if they want specifics, right to the document itself.
That sounds good.
Saves us all a little bit of trouble. Not trouble, but time. And then my other question is the banners, are they going all along 131 for OSV, or where are those banners
We're going
going?
to come down 131 and out onto 20 to the entrance to OSB.
Okay, nice.
So some of the flags may have to come down, or we have to move the flags, or maybe we do every other one, but it's generally down 131 to 20 to OSB. But there's about 40 banners.
Wow, nice.
It's a lot.
Yep.
Okay, next we have consideration and possible action on the Green Communities Grant. Jeff?
Yes, Jean Boubon, town planner, and Robin Kravitz, our facilities manager, have worked on another set of green community grant funding projects. You can see in the award letter on page 7 of your packet what these projects will be. We had some mostly utilities this time, and at Burgess Elementary School, some new LED lighting. So we would ask that the board accept the Green Communities Grant, authorize the chair to sign the agreement, and authorize the town administrator to sign any purchase contracts.
Okay, any question on this? Someone willing to make a motion?
Yeah, good. Yep. I'll make the motion to accept the Green Communities Grant and authorize the chairman to sign the grant agreement on behalf of the town.
Okay, second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Just as an addition, will you authorize me to sign any purchase orders for it?
Yes, or any purchases therein.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, 5-0.
Wonderful. I think this is our third one, second or third.
Yeah.
It's been a successful program for us.
Consideration and possible action on the Mass Trails Grant. Okay, this is the $300,000 for the Westville section of the Grand Trunk. I know this has been in the works going way back to Ice-T.
This is the trail that leads just to money. I think at this point, we're close to $2 million for a 3/4 of a mile dirt path.
Yep.
So, hats off to Tom Chamberlain. Tom Chamberlain he's got a vision we've got about a half dozen pots of money this thing's flowing out of. God bless him, and the Trails Committee with Tom leading the way got the additional $300,000 for the project, so we're keeping rolling here.
All right, he's been working on that. Like I said,
Yeah.
Ice-T. I was on the Open Space Committee
Yeah.
then. That's how
And for
long ago.
residents, that's a beautiful hiking trail that goes through Westville. Used to stop at the bridge, and my understanding, it's going to continue to Farquhar Road, River Road.
Yeah, River Road.
So for people, bikers, runners, hikers, it's going to be really nice.
Yeah, dog walkers.
Oh, I'm sorry, walkers too,
Yeah.
hikers, walkers.
No, it's gorgeous, really, it's a special area.
Okay, we have a motion then.
Sure, okay.
Go ahead. No, this is your thing, buddy.
Yeah, I keep just trying to be helpful. I move to accept the grant and authorize the chair to sign the grant documents on behalf of the board.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion? All in favor? Okay. Next, consideration and possible action on the resignation of Ashley Griffin as a dispatcher with the Sturbridge Police Department. Okay, and there's also a double request there, right?
That's correct.
Point her as a part-time dispatcher.
Chief has requested, I've appointed, and I've asked for your concurrence on just her appointment as a part-time dispatcher.
Okay,
And the
any
chief's here to answer any questions.
Any questions for the chief or? Okay, somebody want to make a motion?
Do we want to do two parts where we accept
You can do that,
resignation and then we do the other?
or you can do it all.
Just do it all at once? All right, I'll make the motion to accept the resignation of Ashley Griffin as a full-time dispatcher and confirm her appointment as a part-time dispatcher effective July 31st, 2021, with an hourly rate of $26.33 per hour.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have consideration and possible action on an offer of a right of first refusal for 355 Lead Mine. Jeff, you want to just run through?
Yes, we received an office of a right of first refusal for the property located at 355 Lead Mine Road in accordance with the town policy and Mass General Law. That notice was also delivered to the Planning Board, Conservation Commission, the Assessor's Office, and it was also circulated by policy to the Open Space Committee. There is no interest from any of the boards so noticed for the town to acquire the property. So either the board can still hold a public hearing on the public's interest, or go ahead and choose not to exercise its right of first refusal and release it to be purchased in accordance with the purchase and sale agreement that's been negotiated between the parties.
Okay, well, I personally think that the boards involved, if they have no interest, then I feel the town ought to waive their right of first refusal. How's the rest of the board feel?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion for the town not to authorize the right of first refusal for the property located at 355 Lead Mine Road.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay, 5-0.
As an aside, the property on Fisk Hill I believe the title report is back to KP, and they're finishing up the documents to complete the sale,
Okay.
or the purchase for the town.
Okay, consideration and possible action on revised job description for the position of lieutenant in the fire department. Jeff?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Chief?
As we look to hold a promotional process in the fire department for the position of lieutenant with the retirement of Lieutenant Marinelli, we reviewed the job description and found that the description has the lieutenant reporting to the captain. The captain's position is currently vacant, so we've added this minor addition to the job description, or in the absence of a captain, the deputy fire chief. The Personnel Committee approved this last week, so we would ask that the board approve the amended job description, and we'll go ahead and start recruiting for that position.
Okay, any questions from the board? Okay, we still have to straighten out that,
Oh, yeah, this is not the one that...
One that's-
Yeah, inshore, yep.
yeah. We had a little grammar lesson
We got schooled.
when you teach third grade. You remember things. Okay, no questions? Somebody?
I do have actually a question, Chief. What is this, are you posting this external, or is this going to be an internal candidate?
This will be an internal promotional process.
No further questions.
Okay, someone willing to make a motion then?
I'll make a motion to approve the revised job description for the position of lieutenant in the Sturbridge Fire Department.
Okay.
Okay, discussion? All in favor? Okay,
One quick announcement, the new fire truck will be here at noon tomorrow. At the firehouse. If anybody's inclined to stop by, please feel free. We will have a public unveiling at some point in the future, but we're expecting delivery, so we're kind of excited about it.
oh yeah, can't blame you.
It's red. Okay. Yes.
Aren't all fire trucks red? You know, some people get into this
No.
yellow thing, which...
My son has green, or he had a green,
Florida, all green.
yeah.
But don't get
Thank you.
that doesn't mean you're going to get.
Let's not start that conversation.
I like yellow.
We repaint the fire trucks before you know it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a good
Chief. You too, Chief. Okay, next, old business, COVID-19 update, Jeff?
Yes, with the occurrence of the Delta variant, and Dr. Fazen's on the meeting tonight. He asked for a few minutes to speak on this topic. He's a member of the Board of Health, but is speaking as a private citizen this evening in regards to the COVID issue, and asked for a few minutes to speak to the board. If that's okay.
We don't have any problem with that. Good evening, doctor.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, fine.
Yeah, so thanks, Jeff Bridges, because I called Jeff. He was driving home Friday afternoon when I was reviewing the data from Provincetown, looking at that situation.
Actually, I was
And he-
75 on 84 on my motorcycle, but that's understandable.
I was surprised you answered the call. Anyway, in New England here, I think by about 8:30 in the morning, most everybody's quite an expert on COVID. They've already listened to somebody on TV at 8 o'clock. So I guess we all have some understanding of the situation in Provincetown. But basically, I wondered if you wanted to talk, if you would maybe let me know if there is any masking policy at this time for indoor municipal workers.
I think that was one of the things we were going to discuss this evening. The new guidance specifies masks for people who have other health conditions. And I don't know how how do you enforce that, right? So from a staff perspective, we wanted to have this conversation first before we got into what level of masking would the board recommend? Because we can go with everybody coming in the building needs a mask, or you put up the guidance that says if you have a health condition. So I think, the staff is looking for guidance at this point.
Well, I think a lot of this is just notifying people, let them decide if they have a health condition. We don't really want to get into anything about that. That's their business, I would say. I mean, if you're just not going to be dealing with any definition of what is a health condition, a serious health condition, get in so many gradations to that. So, anyway, I think that, so is that the only health policy you have, the policy you have on masking right now?
No, if you're not vaccinated, you wear a mask.
So in municipal buildings?
Yes.
Okay. Again, that's in sort of honor code.
Yes.
That's that situation. That's good for what it is, exactly. I looked up if this would help you at all. I guess the main thing is that the vaccines that we're using certainly are saving lives, and they're very important. They remain very important, but it appears from Provincetown that there is the Delta strain is able to be spread even though people are vaccinated. I don't think we know if it's very likely to be spread or just slightly likely, but it can spread because of the Delta. I think that's a new wrinkle in the whole thing, Delta variant. So I looked up CDC, and their specific guidance is that people should wear a mask indoors in high incidence areas. So there you go again. What is a high incidence area? I'll try to trace that down. I think, if you're on the news, you're probably a high incidence area. I don't, I'm not sure exactly how they define that, but I don't think we're on the news in Massachusetts, except for Provincetown. And that's actually not a high incidence area. 70% of the people were vaccinated. They had a pretty high rate of vaccination. But there were many people, there were 20 different states, and people came from different states to go to that event. I contacted my son actually about OSHA, and he's a physician at Yale, and he said OSHA does not have a policy for municipal workers, just for healthcare work. So I think that's helpful to just know that as background. I also looked at Friday evening, the Massachusetts Medical Society came out, and I can just read this to you. The Massachusetts Medical Society, in consultation with their COVID advisory group, strongly recommend that all individuals, regardless of vaccination status, wear a mask in indoor public settings, period. So that is not CDC, it's not the state Department of Public Health, but it is the physician recommendation from a major physician group in Massachusetts. So I guess I would throw the ball back to you a little bit. It is possible to recommend people wear masks. It's possible to strongly recommend. It's possible to leave it the way it is. And maybe hear from you what your thoughts are.
Okay, Mary had a question.
Yeah. Hi, Doctor. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Your timing is interesting because my question was going to be, I know you wanted to be here tonight, and do you want to offer any suggestion with respect to what, and you can say no, your recommendation would be concerning municipal buildings. It seems, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it seems based on what you're quoting that, how would you lean? Strongly suggest, required? Because one of the things that I get concerned about is, if you have a health condition, the recommendation is to wear it. Of course, with our staff, they may have, I don't know, but they may have a certain health condition. And I guess if I worked in a municipal building, we can't guarantee that everybody that's coming through the doors, to pay their bill or inquire of their taxes or something, weren't exposed. So it's very tricky. To leave it just up to the individual to protect themselves if they want is almost, in a way, to turn a blind eye to other people who could have a health condition who are getting exposed. I'm thinking, again, about staff who sees a lot of the public on a regular basis. It's probably not enough if they're the only ones who are wearing a mask. So I just, from a medical standpoint, are you in a position to make a recommendation to us or not?
Well, if I would follow the Massachusetts Medical Society recommendation, and do a recommendation, that would be a whole group of decisions. I do think it is safer for people to wear a mask indoors, and I just think it takes away the whole issue of whether you're vaccinated or not. I think that makes it just easier for everybody to wear a mask indoors. And so people who are coming in from town to service a debt or pay a bill or something would be expected to wear a mask, as well as employees, if that's how you wanted to do it, but not required. I don't know that you can require people at this. I don't think it's something that really is a mandate kind of level at this point.
Hasn't reached that point, and hopefully it won't. Any other questions for Doctor?
No, I guess I do have a comment, if that's all right. Sure. I guess it's, I'm wearing a mask tonight, and I'm mostly just because I have a job where I have a lot of contact with people, so it makes sense for me. But I do, and hopefully you're right, Mary, that this won't get any worse and that this is as bad as it is, but it doesn't seem to be trending that direction in some ways. So I guess that the one thing, and maybe this is for Jeff, is just so we're not surprised in 3 months, if the weather gets cold again, if this gets worse, what are the best practices, how should we approach this? Just because, I don't think we have to do anything right now, but it changes quickly.
I would recommend that we post the municipal buildings as masks recommended for people visiting, that they
No,
be,
that's-
regardless of medical history or regardless of medical or vaccination, masks are recommended in the buildings,
Right.
for now. You've got to,
No, that sounds good. I know,
Masks are strongly recommended.
There you go.
Yeah, no, we're at a little bit, may I also? We're at a little bit of a disadvantage from the board's perspective, because I know the Board of Health is very busy. I'm not saying this in judgment or anything, but we don't have firsthand information in terms of how many people have the virus in our town. We just did get an update from Ken Lacey, and I was actually surprised to learn that in July, our numbers are increasing. And I'm going to ask that letter to be posted on our town website. So we're not,
can I interrupt? When did you get that letter?
we got
it was an email
It was
that I
an email.
forwarded last week.
yeah.
Oh, last week.
Last week, saying that the numbers were increasing in July. I guess it was 6, and then it was 8, and in June, it was 0 to 1. So when we're equipped with some information, I think it helps us make decisions. But if there's not really good communication, we're kind of making recommendations where we don't really know. Doctor, with all due respect, you're right. I'd like us to know before we're on the news, like Provincetown, but we got to keep that communication open between the board and elected officials and keep our website updated so residents can make an informed decision for themselves as to whether or not they want to keep going out to eat at restaurants. That's for them to make. So I feel like when I'm given information, it doesn't do me any good to have it unless we share it with the people who elected us. Why do we have the information if residents don't? So as soon as we get information, like from our health agent indicating the status in Sturbridge or that we're following the state mandate, obviously, I'd like to put it on our website right away and say, so then when I get an email like I did today from a resident, do we have any in our town variants? I can say, Ken Lacey gave us this letter. here it is, it's a public document, and make your own decisions. Because to be informed is at least a start to making good decisions and making good policy.
Right, no doubt, the information should be up for people to avail themselves. They use other sources online and everything too, but if we can get, just the information up so people are aware. But as far as the Board of Selectmen, I think Jeff's, with Mary's adjective put in, Jeff's wording is very good for the municipal buildings for the time being.
We'll have that, it'll take a day to get the postage, so as of Wednesday morning, that will be the guidance to all departments. We strongly recommend
And
that
can I
masks be worn inside.
Jeff, of one other thing?
Yes.
And maybe for our next meeting, if you can kind of take like a little tally between, inquire of staff, if they're comfortable with that, because I mean, they're the ones who are in here every day. I'd be curious, and I'm not going to go to all the staffing, and that's up to you, to find out, are you comfortable with this, or would you be more comfortable if we required the public, when they come into a municipal building, to be wearing a mask? Because I don't think it's illegal to request, absent a health condition. Some people can if they have whatever, but absent a health condition.
That just, without the governor saying that, it's very
we
difficult
can't.
for us to enforce that.
Yeah.
It creates confrontation, because
Yeah.
it's just very, in their, it just creates confrontation for people that don't want to wear their masks, because it's not
Absent a health
in
condition.
policy.
Right.
Okay.
And don't forget, this
But,
is-
and let me just,
Oh,
and
sorry.
again, we still are under the principle that if an employee is not comfortable, they can still work from home.
Okay, I forgot that,
Yeah.
thank you for clarifying.
and don't
that.
forget it's a public building and the public's in here, but they're not in here to the vast degree the events in Provincetown were, in places
Oh,
like that.
of course not.
So. But
But I
I think we should, go with that and then see how things,
But I think having that policy, and I don't mean to interrupt, having that policy, publicizing that policy, I think alerts people that this is serious, right? There are new waves of this thing progressing through every community in the country, and that you need to be aware of that and take some action, right? As you heard on the news today, vaccinations are up X% over a month ago, right? So it's an awareness issue. It's these little actions that are put out there. It tells people this is important. You got to take advantage of the opportunities, not only to be masked, but get vaccinated and mind your business and wash your hands and all those good things.
I agree with everything you said.
Okay.
Is this also our COVID discussion? I don't want to keep the doctor on. Is this our?
Yes, old
Are we under old
business.
business? Okay. I'm also going to make a motion that we request our Board of Health, through our town administrator, to start posting cases again in the town of Sturbridge. I know we did it for a long time. Residents appreciated that. And if we can start doing it again, it would be helpful. Obviously, honoring HIPAA, nobody's interested in, violating, we don't want to know who they are. But I appreciated the memo from Ken Lacy, but I'm going to make a motion that we request our website to start being updated again for cases now that the variant is having breakthroughs. That's my motion.
Doctor?
Yes, if I could comment, thank you. Yes, I think you're all very earnest about this. And a couple things about posting cases. One is that a lot of people are just purchasing, their own kit, maybe checking themselves. It's not recorded. Actually, we don't really know what the incidence is, which would be the number of new cases. We don't know. There's a lot of vagaries to this, and it ends up being very small numbers. I think those numbers that I saw from Ken were just 6 or 8 people, and last month there were 6, and then the month before 0. So that doesn't really mean there's a real increase. The numbers are so small. I think it would help to know if we're in sort of a whole area where people around us, people who might come to Old Sturbridge Village, or people who might come from the Brookfields for dinner or this or that, what does the area look like, and are we at some increased risk, which would help us for masking policies and for other issues as well. I think that people know that they must protect themselves, and when they see the news in the morning about Provincetown, I think they're going to individually increase their own protections, whatever that is, distancing. They're just going to increase their own protection the way they wish to do that. So I think the numbers are too small to really be sort of epidemiologic importance, and the better part would be just maybe to know what the vaccination rate is in town.
Yeah, can I, Mary? Thank you,
And
Doctor.
in Worcester counties and in counties.
You kind of got chopped up there.
We lost, yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, I'll just say it's small numbers. It's a little difficult for people to interpret our little town, whether it's a reported case or an unreported case.
Okay, Mary?
Doctor, I appreciate that from a medical standpoint, but residents regardless want the information. I mean, there was a reason that the state started publishing the numbers with respect to the towns. That's how it all started, and then the towns started to do it. Even, they can go to their doctor and be told, yes, we have thousands of people, that's less than 1%, and that's great, that's medical advice. But if we have information, they want to know what the information is. They don't know why the Board of Selectmen are getting information, and they're not. So that's part of making an informed decision. And I'm still going to, my motion, I think this was discussion, I didn't hear anybody second it, but I will read what Ken Lacey indicated. He said, we are currently managing 8 COVID-19 cases in town, and approximately 50% of what we are seeing as positive cases are in fully vaccinated individuals. This is an increase from the low numbers of 1 to 0 cases weekly in June. Last week, we had 6 cases that we were managing, and we are seeing a steady increase on cases every couple of days now. I'm not trying to say that to alarm anybody. It's just that if we're given this information, I think it's our duty as elected members to share that information with residents. If they have a question on how much of a risk that is, they go to their doctor. They don't go to us, but this is the information we're giving, and I just want to pass it on. So that's why my motion is, my first motion is, again, that we request the Board of Health to post the number of cases, and if they want to give information like how many in Sturbridge have been vaccinated, that would be great information to have, because I don't know, and people have asked me, and I say, I really have no idea. But that's my motion that we request.
Mary, would you be willing to change one word?
Yes, I don't even know.
Well, say what you said.
I'm gonna, let me, poor Alex, my goodness. I'll restate my whole motion, 2 separate motions, but here's my first one again. I make a motion that we request the Board of Health to post the number of to begin posting the number of cases in the town of Sturbridge as they did in previous months.
Okay. Could you change the word request to suggest, because the Board of Health is an independently elected board? So
of course, but
you
I
can
thought request, I thought request was similar. I mean,
Well,
to make a request is to make a suggestion, but I will suggest it
Well, I just personally think suggest sounds
softer.
less intimidating.
Okay, I will change it to suggest.
I'll second Mary's motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
And I have one more. I'm going to make a motion that when we received updates from the Board of Health with respect to any COVID issues, that that the Board of Selectmen, through our town administrator, posts these public documents on the website.
Well, I would leave that to Jeff's discretion on what should be posted. In some cases, it probably isn't or shouldn't be availed by the general public.
Okay, well, I guess maybe my motion could get struck down, because I think that's policymaking that we should decide. I mean, updates like what I just read, that letter, and the link to the department, to the latest advisory that he gave, that whole email is appropriate for posting. So I'm going to make a motion that we post that particular email and any similar emails that we receive on COVID updates. My second motion.
So is that a separate one? You're doing another one?
Yeah, that's it, that's it.
I'll second that as well. I completely agree that we should share any information that we get with the general public as much as possible.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? 3-2?
Awesome, what was,
Okay.
what was the vote, 3-2?
3-2.
Okay, who were the two that not?
Chase and myself.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to, thank you.
I mean, it's tough. I voted for it, but it is, you know, I think information should be released in a particular way.
Oh, no, I don't disagree that people should have information, but, you know, we're walking a fine line when we start telling other,
Sure.
particularly independent elected
Yes,
officials,
statutory.
what to do,
Yeah.
you know. But
Right.
the doctor has heard our discussion, and I'm sure he'll relay our thoughts to,
Yeah, I think
health
everybody would
board.
agree, right, that it's not we're not trying to be top down and tell them what to do. We're just trying to increase communication to the community. How you do that, why you do that, we're
Yeah.
open to have all those conversations.
Yeah, oh, no, I mean, it's not, this isn't a talk down to the Board of Health by any means. I'm just saying that was very helpful for me to get from our health agent. I thought he did his due diligence, and that's great. But me just having it myself, that's not doing any good for anybody. The whole idea is that our residents are educated and make their own health decisions, that's all.
Our link on our website
has the,
brings them to the Mass
Right.
Gov site, which has all these documents. So we're just going to have to figure out how to mesh those two together, because I don't want, and I understand what you're saying, I just don't want people to believe that our website is the
Oh, of course not.
information resource for COVID, so there has to be some balance there, and we'll figure that out.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're a very good writer. I'm sure you'll write it in such a way. But, yeah, I'm going to be redundant. When he gives us a memo, just put it out there, that's all. It's a public document anyway. If anybody requested it, it's kind of like a non-argument, because if anybody in the public requested that memo, they'd get it, you know?
Yeah, I don't disagree, I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that people realize that what you see on our website is just a dusting of what's
big
available for
picture.
information.
right. Okay, doctor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, other old business, Jamie?
No other old business. Thank you, Mary.
Ian?
I have no old.
Mary?
Yeah, I do, because I just had a resident ask me, and I want to be accurate. What is the latest, and I know you've kept us up to date, but I'm drawing a blank, on the garage progress on Route 20? You know, the house that we bought to put a parking garage up?
With $50,000 we got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
we,
the latest on?
The design is done.
Right,
We need to bring it to town meeting for funding to build it. And Senator Goby put $50,000 in the state budget to help pay for it.
I knew about the 50, okay, and we need to go to probably
Town meeting.
special,
Yeah,
I don't know, probably
Yeah,
a
if we have
special
a
town
special town
meeting?
meeting this fall, we'd include that in the ask.
Okay, in the special town meeting,
But
okay,
it's all done and permitted.
all right. And then, again, how much, again, of the latest CARE money was given to offset our budget?
Well, the latest ARPA funds,
Yeah.
we anticipate we'll need between $800,000 to $1 million in ARPA funds in the first year to balance our budget, which was the primary role of the ARPA funds in regards to municipalities. We've only received $500,000.
Yep. And we're getting a balance of how much more?
Well, we're supposed to get 2.8 million,
what I
but
thought.
the county funds, our share of what would have been distributed to Worcester County, had Worcester County being a functioning county, are held up. And we don't know what's holding that up.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was 2.5 or 2.8
The latest estimate we saw was 2.8.
for 2 years, I know that. Okay, that was my only old business.
Okay, Chase, any old business?
No, thank you.
I don't either. New business, Chase?
No new.
Mary?
No.
Ian?
No, ma'am.
Jamie?
Nope.
And I don't have any. Correspondence, Chase?
All right, July 16th, 2021, petition of Massachusetts Electric Company and Nantucket Electric Company, each DBA National Grid, for approval of deferral of major storm threshold amounts for calendar year 2020. July 19th, 2021, Charter Communications, upcoming changes. Letter from John Mahar to Jeff Bridges. July 23rd, 2021, Charter Communications, upcoming changes. Letter from John Mahar to Jeff Bridges. July 23rd, 2021, Central Massachusetts Regional Stormwater Coalition Fiscal Year 2021 Educational Advertisement Campaign Report, email from Kerry Reed, Chair of the Massachusetts Statewide Municipal Stormwater Coalition, to Jeff Bridges. July 28th, 2021, Sturbridge Police National Night Out flyer, Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the Common.
Okay, anyone else have any? Do you think someday Charter will send us a correspondence saying price has gone down 29 cents?
No.
That's not how those things work.
Just thought I'd ask.
I think half our rate is spent in postage.
It's amazing. Okay.
I think we're
Approval?
moving to email notices now.
Yes.
See that? They're going to save tons of money.
Progress.
Well, that's like the electric company. We get a report every 3 months on how we're doing. Talk about a waste of money.
Like emotionally?
Oh, no,
Maybe your neighbors, you were doing.
they wouldn't touch that, Jamie. They wouldn't touch that.
Bill Maher, I don't know if you watch Politically Incorrect or whatever, the show is on HBO, but Bill Maher had this whole segment on surveys now. That everything has a survey.
Yep. Okay, the minutes of July 19th, any corrections, deletions, additions? Is there a motion then to approve as written?
I'll move to approve the minutes as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay. Okay, next on the agenda, we have citizens forum. Any call-ins?
Is there anyone on the public telephone line that would like to speak to the board? Is there anyone on the public telephone line that would like to speak to the board? No, there's no one on the line.
Okay, anyone in the audience? Okay, so then we have a request for executive session.
Before we do, Alex, do you have anything for the board?
I think so.
You get some things to sign?
Yeah, I have a license to sign.
We never straightened out last week what
Have a good
happened.
night.
You too, thank you.
Never did what?
Straightened out last week what happened to the things I signed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're in the box, they're not in the box, they're in the box, they're not in the box.
Did one of us walk off
They
and
are,
stuff?
well, I came in
No,
twice
no.
last
Okay.
week and
I would
signed.
do that. I would just pick up the whole
And then
pile.
Jeff called and said I needed to sign payables.
I don't sign it.
I could come in
Yeah,
and
but
sign my house over.
I had done it Thursday night. I did payroll Tuesday, I think. But it was strange. Well, I don't mind, but,
I had emailed too and said that I've been changing the application.
right, and,
Electronic too, so people really like that, which has been nice. People are just commenting here a lot, like, oh, you saved me a trip to town hall, so I'm like, yes, they did something good, so.
If anything good came out of all this COVID, it's the increase in digital availability of everything.
Okay.
So Alex, they're both in there to sign, or just one? There's no,
I think it's just one this week.
right, yeah, no payroll. Okay. Sign it before I leave. I'll have Jeff witness it. Okay, Chase, do you want to make the motion?
Yes. Executive session per MGL Chapter 38, Section 21, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares.
So declared. Okay, is there a second?
1 second.
Okay, Chase, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mary, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Okay,
Okay, Jeff?
give me a minute.